I'm currently reading this book called Emotional Intelligence for the Modern Leader. I'm really enjoying this book because it allows us leaders to have an empathetic approach to leadership, and it allows us the ability to lead others to success.
I've been reading since I was a young girl, and this week I'm reading a book called The Magic of Thinking Big. My daughter Mariam and Kat Teddy will also be helping me.
Hello, this book is about defeating disbelief and the negative power it creates and make your mind produce positive thoughts.
That I ever read was called The Life of Pi, and it's about a boy from Pondicherry in India who moves to Canada with his family, and they're all sailing to Canada on a boat, and unfortunately the boat sinks, and the only people to survive is the main character, Pi, and a tiger, and they both sail across the Pacific Ocean together, and it's about all the adventures that they have.
So for me, one of my favourite books is the Iron Face series by Julie Kagawa. There's 4 books in the series, and then there is a spin-off as well, so there's a couple more books after it. It follows the main protagonist, which is Megan Chase. It was a 15-year-old girl, and her younger brother is kidnapped and taken into the world of fairy and is swapped with a changeling. The story follows Megan as she goes into the land of fairy and actually finds out more about herself, her life, her actual heritage.
My favourite book that I've ever wrote actually was when I was actually in secondary school, and it is Of Mice and Men. The story of 2 friends during the Great Depression in America in the 1930s and their struggle through life.
I believe in your mindset, whatever you think is what manifests into your environment. Positive thinking is the key to unlocking success in life. So, my 2 favorite books at the moment, this is the one I'm currently reading, okay? This is what currently I'm reading, and it's Good Vibes, Good Life, How Self-Love is the Key to Unlocking Your Greatness, and it's very insightful in terms of how your mindset really does influence what happens in your environment, okay? And another book that I'm yet to read, but I picked up as well, and it's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and this book is literally about how you can overcome your fears, and it literally gives you the different tools.
This evening, I'm going to review one of my favourite autobiographies written by the legendary John Barnes, The Uncomfortable Truth About Racism. Growing up playing football in the 1990s, John suffered a great deal of abuse purely by the colour of his skin. His autobiography is an inspiration for all of us to ensure that we treat everybody with dignity, respect and honesty, regardless of anybody's nationality or colour of our skin. The greatest thing that I have taken from this book is that how I should treat others regardless of their nationality, and how we should treat everybody as human beings to ensure that everybody lives in peace and harmony. I challenge everybody out there to read a book that inspires you to inspire others to be a better human being.
This is currently one of my favourites. My name is Pavana by Deborah Ellis. It's a wonderful story about a girl who's affected by war. Not only that, but she wants to fight for education for girls, and it's really beautiful. Give it a read.
Huge fan of The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. You probably know this because it was a movie not too long ago, and obviously he's the mastermind behind Lord of the Rings. Growing up, I was really into fantasy books. I feel like it allowed me to transport myself into another world, so to speak. For me, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is the pinnacle of fantasy writing.
Without a doubt, it is that classic masterpiece, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. What makes it so special, you ask? Well, set against the background of Napoleon's France, this novel traces the story of a young sailor named Edmond Dantes, whose life is turned hopelessly upside down after a treacherous betrayal by a close friend. Love, intrigue, betrayal, greed, fraud, passion, revenge, murder, hope, and survival. This novel has all this and more, and it is virtually impossible to put the book down once you start reading it.
It's called Malcolm X, and it's written by Alex Haley. It goes through the American Civil Rights movement and how It transformed American society.
I am currently reading The Hunger Games Catching Fire. It's one of my favourite series to watch and to read. My favourite book is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's about a different group of people that go back in time and change their past. I'm really excited to see what everyone else is reading.
As you can see, when it comes to reading and books, they all have their different purposes. Now, in this week, I want you guys to be able to go deeper in your reading. Take a book that someone's recommended to you and give it a go. And feel that comfort, feel that vibe of really enjoying a good book. Happy Readathon, happy reading, guys.